report. Hanging at the fish report. Hanging at the fish report. Hanging at the fish report. For your latest news in high school sports, tune in to the fish report. Don't need no bed, don't need no pull. When you tune in to the fish report. Hanging at the fish report. Hanging at the fish report. You got Craig and TK and Heather D. Tune in at the fish report.
Coming to you live from Studio F in Russia, Ohio. It's the Fish Report Live Show with your hosts, Craig Fissinger and Ken Francis.
Tune in to the fish report.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another Fish Report Live. Thanks for waking up with us. I'm Craig Fissinger. That is Ken Francis. We're your host. Back in the sound room, it's TK and Heavy D back together again this week. Out in Studio R, it's Covey and Kearns. Always excited to talk to them. And Ken, a frigid morning on FRL, but I know one thing, it's always hot in the gymnasium.
It is, Craig, and frigid is right. I tell you what, I took the long walk over here to the office this morning, and negative 10 on the thermometer,
Ooh.
Craig. So, I appreciate all you listeners out there getting up early this morning with us, drinking your coffee just like Craig and I are right here. But, super cold out there, but like you said, it's been hot in these gymnasiums. Some great basketball games being played, Craig, on the boys and the girls side. And we got an exciting interview tonight, Craig. We're going over to Versailles, and we're going to talk to the head coach of the Lady Tigers, and that's Coach Jacki Stonebraker. She leads the Tigers again this year. She's in her 15th season as the head coach. She's got 2 state titles. She's got 3 state runner-ups, Craig, and she's been to the Final Four 7 times. Great resume for Coach Stonebraker. Really looking forward to talking to her.
And she's been one of our original guests on this show. We had her way back in season number 1. Seems like an annual thing with Coach Stonebraker.
Yep, great interview, Craig. And, she's got a lot of talent over there. Again, she's got her team in first place in the tough MAC standings, and we're going to see what it takes for her to be able to win her big game tonight as they go to Minster and take on the Wildcats.
Well, it's the girls' tournament draw this weekend. The boys' tournament draw is next weekend. That means one thing. It's getting close to the end of the regular season. So let's start out talking, boys, Ken. We like talking about the SCAL. Let's look at the standings. What's going on there right now?
Well, Craig, Jackson Center had a big win over Fort Loramie last week, so they stayed in contention yet. They're just 2 games behind the Anna Rockets. Anna's sitting at 9-0 in the league. Jackson Center at 7-2. So it's pretty much a 2-team race, but the league's been solid all year, Craig. Like we've talked about, the top 5 teams there have all beaten each other at some point in the season. And you got Fairlawn down there at 2-7, still a pretty dangerous team. And Houston, they've been battling some injuries all year. But, Anna's a team to beat, but look for Jackson Center to give them all they want Friday night over there at Anna.
Yeah, should be a really good game. Excited about that. And then, we haven't talked MAC here for a little bit. I think it was actually about 3 weeks ago when we had Coach Rosenbeck on the show, talked to him about the MAC and went over the standings then. Let's catch up on that. What's going on in the MAC right now?
Well, Craig, there's a log jam at the top. You got St. Henry, Minster, Marion Local all sitting there with 1 loss. Delphus and Coldwater both still in the hunt there at 3-2. So you're right, Craig. It's a tough league. It's well balanced this year. You got Versailles there, who I saw play Saturday night, Craig. They looked as good as anybody I've seen all year, and they're just 3-3 in the MAC standings. So I don't know. I think as I look at the whole league there and I see it unfold, I still like Minster. I think Minster's still going to be the team to beat. Above Marion Local and St. Henry. I just like what the Wildcats have. I like their size, and come tournament time, we'll see what happens. Those teams are all going to kind of beat each other up in their districts. So, but tough league again in basketball, and we'll see what happens as the season lays out.
Yeah, I like that. Those top 3 teams there, seeing how that all works itself out, is pretty exciting. And since we do have some Versailles viewers tonight, probably tuning in for Coach Stonebraker, you said you saw him last week, and I unfortunately wasn't there. I was out of the state actually, but Michael Stahman, a guy that's, I don't know, Kenny, you look at him, you think a basketball player, to be good, you have to be tall. He's not exceptionally tall, but he's really good, isn't he?
Oh, he's a great player, Craig. He gave Russia fits all night, and, he's quick, he's fast, he can shoot, he can penetrate, he can pass the ball. A very unselfish player. I thought he played a great game. Ended the night with 30 points, and I'm guessing 10, 11 assists, somewhere in that range. So, Versailles looked good. I realized the night before they got beat by Parkway, who was their first MAC win. So, anything can happen around here in basketball. The teams are always going to be ready to play. So, but again, hats off to the Tigers. They played a great game last Saturday.
All right, well, let's change gears now and talk a little girls basketball. And for that, of course, we're going to go out to Studio R. And
speaking of hats off, I think they got hats on over there in Studio R.
We must have forgot to pay the electric bill out there in Studio R this week.
Well, it's nice and warm in here.
Yeah, it's warm in here, but it looks a little frigid out there, guys. What's up?
It's frigid outside, but the basketball's hot on the court right now. We got a lot of great girls games coming up here, concluding with the tournament draw here on Sunday, not to mention a little more of the regular season after that, guys. And we got a couple good games. Obviously, we have Coach Stonebraker here on the show here in a little bit. And, we did have last year when we picked this game, Dan and I both went with the Wildcats. We came to regret that. We got some slack from the Scott Ward over there at the Tiger 97.5. But you know what, Scott? I'm going with the Wildcats again. Too much of a presence on the inside with Pranger. The guards, just a little bit too much of a difference. I still think Versailles is a good team. It'll be a great battle. But I'm going to take the Wildcats by about 10 points here on their home floor in the Wildcat Den.
No doubt it'll be a great battle. I think they could stop Courtney Pranger inside potentially. They have Lizzie Ording, who's a senior, and also Lizzie Ording and Lindsay Winter, who can maybe contain Courtney Pranger and make the guards outside of their two sophomores, Janae Hoying and Ivy Wolf, make them hit tough shots and make them be the main scorers of the night and try to keep those three contained. It'll be a tough job for the Versailles defense, but I think Minster's going to walk away with it, but it'll still be a great match like Kobe said.
And on the county side, trying to get some things wrapped up here. We got a league title potentially getting wrapped up with Fort Laramie here, but Anna's still lurking in the balance there. They got a big game tonight against Russia. Craig and I will be calling that. They're at the launch pad. Should be a good game. Anna, if they can run the gauntlet, beat Russia and Laramie, they can clinch a share. But Anna can't lose focus and lose to Russia, or else they're going to lose everything they want. They got to be ready, be focused to beat Russia, and they got to play that same formula with Laramie. Slow the tempo down. I thought Coach Maurer, I watched the tape on the game, he coached a very nice ball game against Fort Laramie. If they can kind of play to their tempo, there could be a chance here. They kept it within 9 points. It surprised a lot of people, but Anna might just have to get lucky. We know how good this Laramie team is.
Yeah, Anna's been playing fantastic ball. I watched them at Russia. Ella Dosek had a fantastic game. I think she had 30 that night, and their inside presence of shutting down Larissa Pulling, they did a fantastic defensive job. And I think it'll be kind of the same way tonight when they play at the launch, but I think Anna will have a solid defensive game, and their guard play is just going to be too much for the Raiders. And like you said, playing against Laramie, they're going to have to slow it down. Laramie runs deep into their depth off their bench. They use that to their advantage, so they're going to have to slow it down a lot, and hopefully they can run that gauntlet, like you said, and come out with a share. And what was looking to be Laramie's easy SCAL win, but if they can pull that off, that'll be a really nice win for Anna going into tournament.
And another game that we got coming up in the CCC, the now maybe fractured cross-county conference between the Covington Buccaneers and the Miami's Vikings. I am correct there. That'll be the battle of the best 2-point guards in the area with Morgan Haney, the University of Albany Great Danes commit there in the American East Conference. Going off, Miami East played Laramie in overtime Saturday, and then Covington, they obviously have Sammy Whiteman, Trevika Nazarene, Division II in Nashville, Tennessee commit. Whose supporting cast is going to help out more is the question here to be answered here in the game. It'll be a tight one, but I got to go with Morgan Haney. I know Haney and Whiteman are very good friends. They played AAU all throughout high school together. It'll be a great battle, just about as even probably as Minster and Versailles will be too.
Yeah, no doubt, like you said, these are two fantastic point guards, probably one of the two best in that class of 19 class and the area. I think Morgan Haney just has a better offensive cast. She can create shots for Cameron Miller inside, and Maria Stanton, a senior player, also with her. She's been playing all her career over there at Miami East, and I think that's just a better supporting cast for her to knock down shots. And I think Miami East will get the win.
That's great stuff, Kobe and Kearns. Kobe, I think you got something else to say. Go ahead.
I was just going to say with the CCC, I hope this breaking up of the conference doesn't happen there. It's kind of a shame to see that all these schools might be leaving Covington, Bethel, and Miami East in the dust there, and even Laramie in football. We covered their football teams the past 2 years. Let's hope they kind of stay together and fix everything out. I'm not really liking the message the cross-county conference is sending here, kind of just throwing in the towel at their football programs. We know how talented the CCC is in softball and how Covington's been so vital to that success over the past few years. Let's just hope the CCC somehow can work out something so that everyone can be all happy together and kind of sing kumbaya in the end.
Well, listen, I got a couple things for you here. One, first of all, on the big game in the MAC tonight, I'm going to go against you guys. I'm going to go with the Tigers. And let me tell you why. They've got good size with Ording and Winter both inside. I think Minster is very limited to Pranger only, so I think the two girls are going to double team Pranger a lot inside the post. And the Tigers' backcourt has been very underrated this year. I think they've got a really good backcourt. Everybody looks at the Minster and the Fort Loramie backcourt and how good they are. I'll tell you what, the Versailles Tigers have great depth and the size. I think they're going to get the Minster again tonight.
You know, I have to agree with you saying underrated there. Caitlin McEldowney, sister of Cayman McEldowney, has played last year. Has been fantastic all year. And you're right. You haven't heard as much of Versailles as you anticipate. But this is still going to be a team, even though they still have a very good record. They have a 13-4 record. They're still going to be dangerous come tournament time. Them and West Liberty, Salem, and Anna in that regional there, and maybe some other team that we don't really know about, is really going to duke it out for that state spot. And it's going to be a fun battle to watch there down at Springfield High School come March.
About your comment about Lindsay Winter and Lindsay Winter and Lizzie Ording, that physicality right there can definitely limit Courtney Pranger. I watched her at Fort Loramie, and she just got double teamed, and she had a lot of physicality on her all night, and she didn't hit as many shots. And even at the line, when they sent her to the line fouling, she didn't knock down her shots. So if Versailles can do that, they definitely do have a chance of coming away with a really nice win for them for their record and going into tournament, like Kobe said.
My other question for you guys is this. Okay, the girls' tournament draws this weekend. You saw Fort Loramie struggle a lot with Miami East last weekend. Okay, Tri-Village took on Miami East, beat them rather handedly a couple nights ago. Does this change the way Coach Siegel looks at her tournament draw and thinks, okay, maybe I want to stay away from Tri-Village more so than I want to stay away from Minster? Do you think that she'll take that the result of that other basketball game into her account?
She may a little bit, but it's ultimately up to her. I would stay away from Minster until the regional finals, not just for the anticipation reason, but I think you match up a little better with Tri-Village than they do Minster. I think Laramie capitalized on Minster's failure to make plays down the stretch there and got away with that win there. I think Minster and Tri-Village are both fantastic teams. I think Minster's just a little better. Tri-Village has got a mixture of juniors and a senior in Emma Prince. They got a freshman in Megan Downing. That's a fantastic post player on the inside. And it should be a good battle. But I think just Laramie every once in a while, they have no seniors, like we always say. They don't have any of that veteran leadership. So maybe they're still going to try to figure out some of that stuff come down in the clutch time. And when you play a player that's as talented as Morgan Haney, she's a University of Albany commit. She's just a fantastic 1,000-point scorer. You might not know how to stop that all the time, and you're going to run into those, so to speak, road bumps sometimes.
Going on that inexperience, I think that a close one with Miami East was just maybe a bump in the road for Loramie. I don't think it's really going to affect them, especially their tournament. I think they're confident in their girls. It kind of was like a learning lesson for them, although it was a close one. I don't think Coach Siegel is going to have any doubt in her mind when she goes to make that selection at all come tournament.
All right, guys, listen, we're out of time, but great stuff. It might be cold here in the studio, but you got my juices flowing for this girls basketball and tournament draw, so great stuff. Thanks for all that. And we're going to continue to talk girls basketball, but we're going to take a short break, so hang in there. When we come back, we're going to talk some more girls basketball, including that interview with Versailles coach Jacki Stonebraker.
devised by foolish views. Religious divide among those may create civil war on my friendly land. Oh, hurt and bruised and slain. Oh, pride in this name.
And welcome back to the second half of Fish Report Live. Before the break, we were looking at those MAC girls basketball standings, Ken, and that brings us to our next guest. She's kind of become a regular on this show every season, and she's in her 15th year as the head coach of the Versailles Lady Tigers. During that time, she's accumulated 311 wins so far, including 7 Final Fours, 3 state runner-ups, and 2 state championships. We welcome to the program now one of our favorite coaches in Jacki Stonebraker. Coach, thanks for joining us on Fish Report Live.
Thanks for asking me.
Well, listen, it's been a killer week for you in terms of games. And first things first, we'll start with that game you had back on Tuesday versus West Liberty Salem. And, you know, we don't track the OHC very closely on this show, but listen, they've kind of been a thorn in the side of a lot of teams over here. And you know, they're not state ranked, yet they beat Fort Laramie, they beat Anna. Then they get your girls on Tuesday. So for us out here that don't know much about West Liberty, is this team legit?
Yeah, this team is legit. I've been watching them for a couple weeks now, and they have a lot of guard play that is very explosive. They can defend extremely well against guard play, and their post presence, they sag down the post a lot, and they're quick enough to recover out to the guards. So their overall defense is just extremely good, and then they do a great job sharing the basketball, and they're unselfish kids. So they're a hard team to guard.
Well, it's certainly a team you have to be concerned with them being Division III as well as you. You know, Coach, you're having a very good season right now. You're 13-4 overall, including 7-0 in the MAC right now. And when I look at your roster, you know, it's stocked full of experience. And you got girls like Elizabeth Ording, Kelsey Custenborder, Lindsay Winter, Caitlin McEldowney. I'm just going down the list here. You know, Hannah Bargy, Liz Watron, Danielle Kunk. Coach, is one of the biggest factors in being successful having all those players with the returning experience, or what in your opinion, what creates the success you've had?
Well, I think it's having returning players, like you said, in the program, but then it's also having returning coaches, and just the consistency at the coaching realm, I think, is very important. You know, with my assistant coaches, they've been with me for a long time now, and they know the expectations, and they also hold their kids to the expectations that we want as a program. So, you know, getting that experience, getting those couple extra weeks of practice in the postseason has been huge for us these last couple of years of just getting better and getting our younger kids better. You know, all 15 that we travel with get better for another 3 or 4 weeks. And it's important because they're going to fill some type of role in the near future.
Coach, good morning. Ken Francis here. Thanks for joining us on our show this morning. You've got a big game tonight. You take the girls over to Wildcat Country. You take on Minster. Of course, a MAC championship on the line. You know, the team you played last year at Versailles that Craig and I went to and seen with a huge crowd. It was a great atmosphere. I expect the same thing tonight over at Minster. What's it going to take for you and the Lady Tigers to get out of there with a win?
I think it's all about consistency with us right now. We've played some really good basketball teams the past couple games, and I just feel like we tend to take a quarter off. And to play Minster and to beat Minster, we're going to have to play all 4 quarters consistently good basketball. And, you know, we're going to have to limit the touches of Ivy Wolf, definitely. Janae Hoynes right behind her. So we have to limit their looks at the basket. And we also have to be ready for praying her inside and just be ready just to muscle her up and box her out and keep her off the boards and getting anything easy. So I think we match up well against them. They're big just like we are. Their guard play is very explosive. So we're going to have to handle the basketball a little bit better than we did the other night against West Liberty-Salem. But I really feel as if it's two MAC opponents going at each other, and it's gonna be a big hype game.
Coach, you've had a busy week. Of course, you had to go at West Liberty on Tuesday night. You have to go at Minster, tonight. Saturday, you've got the big crosstown rivalry against the Russia Raiders. Sunday's the tournament draw. You're a mother. You're a wife. You've got things to do at home. You're a teacher. How do you have time for all this stuff, and when do you get a break?
Well, I get a break on days like yesterday when we didn't have school, and I can actually clean my house and do my laundry. But no, it's kind of the lifestyle we lead. My kids know we're in the gym, most of the time, and my husband is very, very, very supportive of what we do, and he loves it just as much as we do. So we just take it day by day, sometimes hour by hour, and make sure the kids are in the right spots and go on with our day.
Coach, last week was a tough week for Versailles High School. You lost a student athlete over there. One of them things that's obviously very tough to deal with in any school system. He was a wrestler over there at Versailles. What's it take you as a head coach? How do you handle those situations with your student athletes and to try to put things into perspective?
Right. It's been a tough couple years, actually. We lost another kid this week, and we lost one a couple years ago around tournament time as well. And it's tough. It's tough on the kids. It's tough because some kids are really close to the athlete or the student. Some kids, have known them, have been in a couple classes, but are not, best friends. And then there's some that don't know them very much. So we've got different personalities. We've got different reactions to this situation. So we kind of read the girls. Luckily, I'm in the school system, so I can see how the girls are doing in their classes and in the hallways and how they're acting, and then we can approach practice just try to comfort them a little bit, but yet still get something done for those athletes that do want to carry on and go about their day. So it's a tough thing to juggle, but we try to do our best and send prayers to the kids that are really taking it hard, and it's a tough situation, but the kids are resilient and they usually bounce back pretty quickly.
Coach, I think you put it very well there, and I'm glad to hear that. We enjoy having you on this show every year, and it seems like it's become a kind of an annual thing for us. And again, we appreciate you coming on here tonight. We were talking about girls basketball before we had you on here, and there's so much going on right now, not only in your conference, but in the Shelby County Athletic League over here, and in the Cross County Conference over there in the OHC, just all over the place. It's just an exciting time of year. But as much as we love talking girls basketball or I should say high school basketball, I also enjoy talking junior high basketball. And I know you and I have something in common here, and that's both of us have a son that plays 8th grade boys basketball. As a matter of fact, we played, the Russia Raiders played Versailles last Saturday, and your son was lighting it up behind the three-point arc. So, and Versailles ended up winning that game. But fortunately, our two boys are also teammates together. Mm-hmm. They play on the same team they have for the last several years in the spring when they play spring basketball. And, Coach, I've always wanted to ask you, I know I've spent a lot of time in the bleachers watching our sons play, but does your son get that shooting touch and those skills from you, or does he get it from your husband? I've never asked you that. I guess I should. I want to ask you. I'm not going to ask your husband because I know what he'll say. I want to ask you.
Well, anything inside the arc, probably the 3-point arc, the free throw, the 10-footer, the 15-footer, I can probably claim. But anything outside that 3-point line, that's all Shane. I had never mastered that shot, but. Going back to that Russia Versailles game, I thought that was one of the best played junior high games, clean junior high games that I've ever seen played. I don't get to watch too many of them, but that was a high-scoring game, and that was a lot of fun to watch.
Oh, yeah, always fun to play Versailles. I know it is for Russia kids, and I imagine it's the same for the Versailles boys as well.
Absolutely.
Well, listen, Coach, we really appreciate you joining us here early this morning on this cold, brisk Thursday morning. I know you got a big day ahead of you, and, I want to congratulate you on all your success over there at Versailles, teaching the kids great basketball skills, but more importantly, a whole lot of great values about life in general. So keep up the good work.
I appreciate that.
Keep up the great work, and best of luck to you tonight.
Thank you very much.
All right, Coach. See you Saturday.
Yep, see ya.
All
Great
right.
interview, Craig.
Yeah,
She's one of our favorites, isn't she?
Yeah, we like I said, we had her on back in season 1, and we just need to keep making this a regular thing because just a fun interview and a great person.
Yep, absolutely.
All right, let's get back to this sound room and check in with TK and Heavy D. And I know we missed Heavy D last week. He was I don't know, he took a vacation day, I think. But guys, good morning. We're glad we paid for the heat and the sound room at least.
Yeah, it's toasty back here. We're doing all right.
They're in short sleeves, and Kearns and Kobe, they had hoodies on.
Well, TK, I think we got a full weekend in basketball, so you should have an opportunity to give us an SCAL Star of the Week.
Yes, we did. Not too many things were put off by the weather until the last couple of days, but going back to Friday, I have to go with the hometown team, the Raiders, and their point guard junior Mason Daypour last Friday night against Botkins. He had 20 points, but most importantly, just overall great game, and at the end of the game, went 6 for 6 from the foul line to help seal that victory for the Raiders. Some big shots down at the end when the team needed him, and he came through like he's done pretty much all year. So Mason Daypour, great game and a great leadership there, and leading the Raiders over the Botkins Trojans. Do have to give a shout out though, as we talked several times. I'm not sure how many times we've had buzzer beaters this year, and I say how much I love them. We had another one Friday night. Trent Platfoot from Jackson Center buried a awesome shot against Fort Laramie to win that game at the buzzer. Went 3/4 of the court in the last few seconds, so a big victory there on a last-second shot for Trent Platfoot.
Yeah, good call on both those. As a matter of fact, I think I read somewhere, I don't know if it was on social media or somewhere, but I think it was even a Laramie fan, a coach, someone part of their program said that's a shot that every kid dreams about. So
yeah. It was a huge shot. Fort Laramie's been hit by a couple of them this year now, Botkins and Jackson Center, and then they hit one against Russia to beat Russia. So they've had some close ball games over there and a lot of buzzer beaters for them.
And good call with Mason Daypour. For a senior heavy team is what Russia has. There's 6 of them that play, in that rotation there. It's kind of nice to see that there's a little bit of a future there for Russia. You got a couple juniors in that rotation, but Mason Daypour very deserving of that. So Heavy D, what's in the mailbag this week?
Yep, didn't have to dig too deep. Actually ran into somebody at the gym tonight. We were up shooting around with the kids trying to kill some time. School was off today, but the gym's always open. Walking out into the polar vortex, I always wear shorts. There's not many days out of the year, as you guys know, I don't wear shorts.
I've
got big thighs. I got to have a top on because I'm thin up top, but I got big thighs and calves, and that keeps me warm. And the question that came to me tonight was, what's the temperature in which you will not wear shorts? And I don't know if I've reached that yet. I can remember about 20 years ago, it was minus 20 degrees out and about minus 34 with the wind chill, and I think I had shorts on. So
it's minus 10 this morning, and you got shorts on.
I only wear long pants. People ask me if I wear long pants. Well, number one, I might be in church, so that's protocol. But and sometimes my wife makes me dress up, but usually it's shorts and. It's more comfortable in them.
I was complaining to someone yesterday about being so cold, and they said, well, just be glad you don't live on Jupiter. It's like minus 500
that's a solid point.
Good point.
That's a solid point.
Could be worse.
Yeah, it could be worse. That's right.
That's right.
All right, guys, great stuff. That's going to wrap it up for us here this morning. Do want to say special thanks to our guest, Coach Stonebraker, for joining us on the show. Ken and I and the crew are all going to be back again. You know where. Same place, same time. Until then, have a good day, everyone.
Hanging at the fishing pond, hanging at the fishing pond, hanging at the fishing pond, hanging at the fishing pond. For your latest news and high school sports, tune in to the fishing pond. Don't need no bed, don't need no pole when you tune in to the fishing pond. Hanging at the fishing pond, hanging at